Let us go direct to the guest host of guest hosts. Walter E. Williams is a favorite guest host of the Rush Limbaugh Show. Every time I host this show, I always get tons of emails from people saying, "Oh well, you're okay if we have to have some sinister illegal immigrant hosting the Rush Limbaugh Show." But Walter E. Williams is the guest host of guest hosts, and it's a great honor to have him live with us now to talk about his new book, Up From the Projects. Happy New Year to you, Walter.
Well, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you, Mark.
And that's right. Belated Merry Christmas to you. Now, your book, just the title here, Up From the Projects. You grew up in about as poor can get in America.
Not quite.
Well, you in the Philadelphia ghetto.
Yeah, right.
But just explain to us the difference between projects as we understand the term now and projects back then.
Yeah. Well, the actual name of the project was Richard Allen Housing Project in North Philadelphia, and as a matter of fact, in the book, there's a photograph of the building in which we lived, and if you look at the building, you see no graffiti. Graffiti was unheard of. The closest we came to graffiti was drawing hopscotch, taking chalk and drawing hopscotch in the street so we can play hopscotch. and people used to. There were no bars at the window. We did not go to sleep with the sounds of gunshots in the background. There weren't bars at windows. In the hot, humid summer nights, if we behaved ourselves, my mother would let my sister and I sleep out on the fire escape. And one other remarkable thing is that my father, he deserted us when I was 3, and a couple of years later, my mother finally divorced him, and when my sister was 2. But among all the people that we knew, my sister and I, we were the only kids without a mother and a father in the household. Now, Today, it would be exactly the opposite. It would be a rare thing to find a mother-father in the household in the project in which I grew up.
Yeah,
because, as a matter of fact, most housing projects around the country.
Now, what's the reason for that? Because LBJ and the Democratic Party thought they were doing black Americans a great favor with the Great Society 45 years ago. And it seems to have had certain malign consequences,
oh, yes.
At least as far as the black families concerned.
Oh, yes. The welfare state has done to black Americans what slavery could not have done, what harshest Jim Crow laws could not have done, what the rank discrimination could not have done, and namely, break the black family. That is, back in the late 1800s, in the early 1900s, even up until 1940, in most cities you found upwards of 80% of black kids living in two-parent families. Today, you'd be hard put to find 20 or 30%. And in some cities, 80%, 85% of black kids don't have two parents. And even during slavery, many times marriage was not allowed among slaves, but children lived in households with their two biological parents.
Yeah, and now, as you say, maybe 85% don't have any male head of the household,
That's
and if
right.
there is, it's often just a kind of transient boyfriend passing through.
That is absolutely right. And by the way, the illegitimacy rate among black Americans is around 70%. Right. And I'm not a prude, but if you're born and you find out you don't know who your father is or where he is, that's not a best start on life. But I would say this, Mark, is that it's not a black thing, because in Sweden, and that's the mother welfare states, the illegitimacy rate is 54%.
Right, and
among whites and white Americans, the illegitimacy rate is over 25%, where it was in the 60s when people started talking about black illegitimacy.
Yeah, and if you make those overseas comparisons, you can say that what LBJ did to the black family, the British welfare state did to the family in general, because across the United Kingdom, white families the mother will be moving from one boyfriend to the next, and he'll be abusing the 14 and 15-year-old daughter, and children grow up in complete chaos. So once government takes an interest in you, and once government decides to do you a favor, it can be pretty bad news for basic societal building blocks.
Well, it's a basic economic principle. That is, if you tax something, you're going to get less of it. And if you subsidize something, you're going to get surpluses of it. And it's just the fact of business that we have been subsidizing slovenly behavior.
Now let's because I said before the break, you understand. Everyone knows you understand macroeconomic theory,
and macroeconomics.
And this book applies it to your own life. But there are kind of fascinating glimpses of the difference between then and now. There was a story in the New York papers a couple of weeks ago about how cab drivers the TSA may not be willing to profile at American airports, but New York cab drivers say they're going to profile because it's life-threatening not to profile. You started as a cab driver.
That's right.
Back in the 1950s in Philadelphia. And when you used to you used to get tired in your shift at 2 or 3 in the morning, you just pull over and take a nap in the cab. Nobody would do that in Philadelphia these days.
That is right. I would take a nap at a cab stand. You know, it could be I worked from 12 to 8 shift sometimes.
Right.
And there's nothing doing, so I'd sleep in the car. And in hot summer times, the windows would also be open, and I'd get a customer, maybe a tap on the glass, say, "Driver, can you take me so-and-so?" But if anybody did that today, they might be accused of attempted suicide.
Right. And what is the reason for that, Walter? Is it I mean, when you look, as you say, when you look at the project you grew up in, there's no graffiti. It's clean. It's well maintained. It's not crime ridden. What happens? Is it the fact that we turn huge populations into dependents and tell them that they no longer have the dignity of self-reliance? What is the reason for it?
Well, I think again, what is just plain economic theory. The cost of various kinds of behavior, or antisocial behavior, has been reduced. That is, criminals go free. You know, at one time in the United States, rape was a crime punishable by death. Today, rape, you can rape a woman and maybe get out in 5 years, 4 years, or maybe not even that. So it's a lower cost of all kinds of criminal activities. And so you expect people to engage in it more.